Jodi Picoult is one of my favorite authors, not only because her books are interesting, but because of the depth that she brings to them and how she brings out the raw emotion in the reader. What influenced her was her mother telling Jodi that she could be a writer. Her mentor and teacher from Princeton, Mary Morris, taught her how to be a writer. Miss Picoult's first piece to ever be in print was a poem in her grandparents' community newspaper in Bayside, New York, when she was 7. Jodi says she isn't a very good friend to have because when you tell her something, it's likely to end up in one of her characters' mouths. For example, she had a disagreement with her husband which became a pivotal scene in the pact. For the perfect match, Jodi would go to breakfast in the morning, take notes on what her kids said, and go upstairs and transform their voices into the character of Nathaniel. Jodi Picoult draws plot ideas out of thin air and real conversations she had in different contexts. Friends tell her it's strange to be reading one of her books and find their conversations sprawled out on a page. She learned that patience is key, also being who you are and not compromising what's important to you in order to succeed. It takes her 9 months to write a book. She says she doesn't really know why it takes her the same amount of time to deliver a baby or a book. Research versus rough drafting for books varies. Takes three-fourths of a year for her head to gel ideas into cohesive stories. Works on more than one book at a time, maybe touring for one while editing another and writing a whole new book at the same time. She's not a weekend worker, but is a workaholic. Will start a new book the day after finishing one. Her kids know that she needs it like some need medicine, because if she doesn't write, she gets cranky. Before she was a writer, she worked on Wall Street writing bonds and stocks for Standard & Poor's and Moody's. Taught creative writing in private schools and 8th grade English in public school. Wishes she could have been a forensic detective or pastry chef. Also wishes her voice was good enough to take singing out of the car and into the public, but says that it's better for everyone that she's a writer. Ideas come from what-if questions. What if a boy left standing after a botched suicide pact was accused of for murder? What if a little girl developed an imaginary friend who turned out to be God? What if an attorney didn't think that the legal system was good enough for her own child? For Mercy, she researched Scottish clans without knowing why it would be important. For My Sister's Keeper, she got information she learned while researching for Second Glance. She found it so interesting, it stuck and made it its own file and turned it into a story. These are the key goals that she thinks people should have when becoming a writer: self-motivation, perseverance, faith. Her motto is just do it. Be a writer because most people have a story inside waiting to come out. If you don't get it out, you'll never know what could